All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Eagle Eye podcast. It's episode 7. I hope that you guys can feel the love in the air as we do approach, no, not Valentine's Day, but game kickoff for Las Águilas del América. It is a wonderful day to be talking everything Las Águilas del América. So let me welcome my co-host, Mr. Dylan Jimenez. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me again, man. Always a pleasure coming here after a long day today, especially it being a Monday.
That is right. It's Monday. I know it's probably not the best day of the week, but as circumstances do happen, we had to change it up because America does play tomorrow. So I hope you guys have found yourselves your Valentine that you can take to. I was gonna say to the theaters to watch the game, but that'd be cool if theaters all over the world would stream Liga MX matches. But regardless of the fact, hope you guys are excited for tomorrow's matchup. It should be a very, very interesting one. We're going to dive in and we're going to review everything about the matchup against Tigres. We're also going to be previewing the matchup against Morelia. And we're going to give you guys a 2-for-1 in this sense because we're also going to be previewing the Veracruz game. So, anything you want to add on, Dylan?
Just sorry for the shirt. Forgot to wash. As a college student, I do get lazy and do not wash my clothes. So,
for those of you who are listening to this on SoundCloud or iTunes, because remember we're both on those platforms, Dylan has on a FC Dallas kind of training top. So he does apologize that he wasn't able to wear his America outfit like we, usually tend to do here at the Eagle Eye podcast. That's what separates us. We always have our jerseys on because it's always game day for us when we do the podcast. I feel like I can't even talk today because it's Monday. But without further ado, let's jump into this because let's not try to drag it as long as possible because it is, like we mentioned, Monday. So we're going to talk about the matchup that was Tigres versus America on Saturday away at the Volcan. This was 5 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. your time. And we said we were nervous, but we were very excited to see what our Águilas were going to do because this was a very, very tough matchup for them in regards to everything that was going on because we were facing a side like Tigres, who granted maybe did not have the best of starts, but when you look at their squad, you always have to think that they're going to bring something to the table. And, they practically pretty much did. So let's talk essence what the matchup really was. So at the end, it was a 1-1 result, a draw, and a very good draw in the sense that we keep that record of not losing, and we also walk away with a very good point. But for those of you who followed this on Twitter, I said this was again a matchup that I felt that we dropped 2 points instead of gaining one. I believe that we were the better side. And I think that we maybe deserve the 3 points overall. But I'm gonna throw it to you, Dylan, and I want to get your final kind of like your thoughts, reactions, and emotions after that 1-1 result.
Yeah, no, like you said, a good point overall, but also just a drop of 2 points too as well. I feel like we could have got the 3 points too as well, and it's interesting to see this match too because to me it seems like it could be a possible preview of a Liga match too. We could possibly see Tigres again in the Liga if we make the Liga, which I think we will. And so, just frustrating overall. Not being able to get a second goal to get those 3 points, especially what happened with Guido. Whenever Guido has scored that goal, and then the ref wants to not allow it apparently, and then allow it again, and then point to the penalty spot and actually just making it a penalty, which obviously Mendes scores and equalizes for us. But it's a lot. It's a cluster of emotions to see all those things happen too as well.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It was really a roller coaster of emotions, like you said. A lot of things that were happening. We're gonna dive into it. We're really gonna be going into everything that was the matchup. So let's start things off straight from kickoff. Lineup was Marchesín, Paulo Aguilar, Bruno Valdez, Eric Aguilera, William da Silva at left back, which was quite surprising for a couple of us. right mid, Renato Ibarra. Left mid, Cecilio Dominguez. Midfield, Uribe, Guido. Up top, Oribe and Henry. So that was the lineup that we mostly all expected, with the exception of William da Silva at left back, who we will talk about in a little bit. So straight from kickoff, I think what we've done so well this season, and what I've liked that we've done so far, is that whenever we start, we always go kind of a little bit on the offensive. We pressure the team. We go out. We charge at them. We don't really sit back and soak in the pressure, which I think is something very, very important that we do. Because the better we start off, the better the outcome is going to be for us. So how do you take it that we kind of see a pattern for a couple of games now going into this jornada 7? The fact that we're doing things pretty much the same every time that we get the kickoff. It's charge at the opposing side, win the ball back, and start moving it around and getting those players used to the ball at their feet.
Yeah, it just seems to kind of work out sometimes, depending on who we're playing to and how we handle the situation and stuff like that. And so far, like you said, it's worked out. And Piojo obviously sees something with this tactic, and Piojo's going forward with it. And I don't think it should stop. I think it's working. We're putting the pressure. We've getting some goals out of it. We're obviously covering ground too whenever it comes back to come back and playing defense too as well. And so overall, it's working to me. And so it's just something that Bill is going to go forward with from when he started it until the end of the season.
No, yeah, I think that's a tactic that's been working very well for us. I think it not only gets the blood rushing, it gets the players' emotions going and everything. So hats off to America that we've continued to do this, and hopefully we can continue to grow and perfect it. For the most of the matchup, I think in the first half, I think we looked a very, very dominant side. We had some very, very good opportunities. That's needless to say also that Tigres also had their own chances. It was a very even matchup, but I think overall, maybe by a centimeter or an inch of a hair, we were the better side in the first 45 minutes. Of course, it wasn't the most ideal 45 minutes, as I would have liked us to finish our chances more. I know Cecilio Dominguez had a great opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net. Unfortunately, doesn't find it because of let's face it, it was a wonderful save by Noel Guzman, who barely tips the ball with his fingers, and then because of that, Cecilio's shot goes and hits the post. Overall, it was a pretty good performance. It was, exactly what I would expected, except the fact that we let in a goal that I think was very, very stupid to concede. I'm just gonna put it that way. Get scored on around the 41st minute of the matchup. It was after the fact that we were actually the better side. So the goal kind of comes, against the run of play. If I wanted to paint a picture for you guys, I forget who the Tigres player is. He picks up the ball and around the middle of the park in his own in the Tigres area, charges forward. Absolutely no one goes to contest him. No one goes to pressure him. He runs with the ball a good 30 yards into our area, is able to play the ball out wide. Chaca Rodriguez is then able to run down the byline, find a cross that ends up finding Gignac. And of course, in an open space like that, Gignac puts the ball into the back of the net. The reason why I have such an issue with this is because this would have easily have not been a goal if we would have been able to shut down the defender who carried the ball 30 yards into the space. Absolutely no one from our midfield picked him up. Absolutely no one from defense decided to charge at him. No one. And this is what got me really irritated, because we were the better side. And if we would have gone into the half with a score line of 0-0, I think the outcome could have been different.
Yeah, no, I agree. But like going back to, he said that high pressure and stuff like that we kind of started off with. That's kind of one of the downsides if you get kind of lazy and you don't put the pressure on that you need to come back and defend. So maybe Tigres found that hole. That one player did too. Who we forgot that who it was. And find Chaka, and this is something too from the back line that you don't really expect to see. That little mistake. The stupid mistake. From the back line. Seemed like there was a lack of communication from the back line too between Aguilera and Valdez too as well. So there's problems all over the pitch for that goal too as well.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but at the end of the day, we go down, but at the end of the half, 1-0. I think for the most part, we were the better side, except of course, that stupid mistake happened. First 45 minutes, how would you sum them up from our Águilas?
Good play, good attacking play for me a little bit. It was some brilliant stuff besides the goal. Everything seemed like it was going well for them, everything like that. I believe we got about 4 shots maybe, with 1 on target, I believe so. Just possession is what we needed to work on too a little bit more. I feel like we didn't have possession that much as Tigres did.
Yeah, there was at times I think that we kind of give up the ball. I like the fact that we didn't give the ball as much as we have in previous matchups. But still, we were able to give the ball a couple of times. Tigres was smart. They kind of settled into their matchup. I think America did well to kind of, play their game and put Tigres under pressure. I think it was after a couple minutes, like, 15, 20 minutes afterwards, America really let off the gas pedal. They started letting Tigres kind of settle in and kind of play their matchup. And you can't really do that to a side that, first of all, is at home. And second of all, with the quality of players that they have, can easily come and score a goal. So I think for the most part, it was a pretty good 45 minutes against a very good opposition that is Tigres. But in the end, it was it could have been better, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. It could have been better. It was fine. I liked it, but it could have been better if we wouldn't have conceded that goal.
So no, everything can always be better. There's always room for improvement. One thing that I kind of lived by whenever I was playing sports in high school. Like I'll never try to be perfect. Our coaches always say, you want to be perfect playing the game, and I don't believe in playing perfect. Because if you play perfect, then what's the point? It's taking the fun out. There's no room for improvement. There's no room to learn. So, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, I guess there always will be. But I think we're perfecting what Piojo wants us to do, which is good because this is not going to be the only tough opposition that we have going forward into the season. So halftime comes, and then now it's time for the second half. I think America starts off really, really well. We get some pretty good close opportunities at goal. Things don't really start shaping up until the fact that Jeremy Menez comes on. Once Jeremy Menez comes on, this America side looks completely different.
Yeah. Like you said, the shots got better too. Got about 2 shots on goal and stuff like that too. Only thing lacking is still the possession. That's the one key thing that we always focus on. But it was a great substitution by Piojo. I didn't really like the way Uribe was playing and stuff like that. I've talked to you about it too and everything like that. And it seemed to me that Mateus Uribe was slowly turning into more of a reckless Guido whenever he first started playing with America too, like that, and that's something that I don't want to see. But obviously the change of play was great. It just seemed a little bit more alive. We've seen a little bit more from the team going forward too as well.
Yeah, Uribe definitely did not have the best matchup of his America career so far. But like we said, things got better. We were able to find a goal after, like you mentioned, a very, very weird and very roller coaster of an emotional decision by the referee. We get a corner kick in which Guido Rodriguez then heads home. A beautiful, beautiful cross. Puts it in the corner where the goalkeeper just cannot get it. The referee then at first marks a foul against Guido. And then after careful consideration, he then marks towards the penalty spot, signaling that it is a goal. And as he is running towards the goal, he then stops, blows the whistle, comes back, talks to his assistant referee through the microphone and calls for a penalty. Now, this is a very, very, very tense moment in the matchup because before that happened, let's not forget, because we're missing. I can't believe we totally slipped through this. America should have had a goal in the first half because Mateus Uribe missed a penalty.
Penalties, man. Penalties. I don't even want to start with that, man. Okay. It was just a mess. I don't know, man. Like I felt bad because I'm the one that got my hopes up, thinking that we're gonna make a penalty and go up 1-0. Oh, it's just that roller coaster, man. I was telling you about, just going. It's going. It's still going for me right now.
Okay, let's talk penalties then, because I have no idea why we completely oversaw this. Maybe because there was another penalty in the matchup, and maybe the fact that we actually scored the second one kind of erases what really happened before that. But we get a penalty, and I want to say that Cecilio Dominguez played an absolutely amazing matchup, because it just goes to show how well he played, that he was able to win us a penalty. So Matias Uribe steps up to take it, as Piojo has said that he wants him to be the penalty taker. Goes up, takes it, and just absolutely puts it wide. Does not connect with the ball cleanly, nothing whatsoever. And because of that, we see that we don't score a goal, and then a couple minutes later, boom, Tigres scores. So, what? I know you don't really want to go into it, but what's going on? Why can't we take penalties?
I think we're lacking some confidence, maybe going into the penalties. I think we're getting a little nervous, and letting the goalkeeper get in our heads a little bit about it. Because I remember I see Guzman go up to Uribe before the penalty and after the penalty too. Just getting in his head, and obviously after the penalty, Guzman got that yellow. So I just think it's a lack of confidence.
But, I mean, if it's a lack of confidence, are we always going to bank on the fact that Jeremy Menez has to come and rescue us to take a penalty? Or who else on this pitch can take one? Because it's frustrating to see. We've seen Uribe miss. Now we've seen Mateus Uribe miss. Now it's, who's going to take it for us? I mean, the last real good kind of solid penalty taker that America had was Osvaldito Martinez, and now he's gone. He's at Santos. So now we're really left with no one really that can, put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, who besides, because Jeremy Menez was on the pitch at the moment, who else would you give that penalty to?
I don't even really know, to be honest with you. It's kind of hard to say. Whenever we only seen two, possibly Henny, but I mean, we've only seen two, if you're not including Menez, two people try to take penalties this season so far.
I really, really, really am curious to see exactly what's going on, because this is unbelievable that we can't find anyone to put the ball into the back of the net from 12 steps into the goal. So it's frustrating. I can't believe we missed the penalty, but we went back to it and we discussed it. Now let's go into the other penalty that happened in the matchup for us. So it's a big conundrum. The referee gives a penalty. Everyone's arguing against it. And in the end, when the penalty was called, the first person to get the ball was Jeremy Menez. Jeremy Menez got the ball and went to the penalty spot. Stayed there after 2-3 minutes of players just absolutely going crazy with the referee. Menez was stone cold, was ready to place the ball down. And when it came down to it, and Gignac started telling him stuff. I'm pretty sure he told him stuff in French. And then tried to get in his head. And, Jeremy Menez takes the penalty spot, and the referee signals. Jeremy Menez steps up, and he scores the goal. So, from then on, it's 1-1. America then gets more momentum. I feel like at this point was when we should have scored another goal, because we were the better side at that stage. The only problem was that at that point we only had one forward, and his name is Oribe Peralta. And Oribe had a very good opportunity to kind of find the back of the net, but was a little bit hesitant. And I want to go into detail because we haven't really gone into as much detail as possible. But what is going on with Oribe Peralta? This was a matchup made for him to score the winning goal, but he just wasn't present. What's going on with our captain?
Who knows, man? I mean, at this point in the stage, we're kind of seeing his production go down. I've kind of said it a time or two in the past episodes, but we're seeing the decline of Oribe, in my opinion, a little bit. This guy is going from our lead goal scorer in Apertura to no goals so far this season. And who's our leading goal scorer right now? It's Henry Martin. And so, what is that? I mean, how does that play in Oribe's mind right now? Whenever you see this young kid who's just as hungry, if not hungrier, than Oribe to score and to make plays, and then you see Oribe not doing nothing, in my opinion. We still see Oribe run. We still see Oribe fighting for the ball and stuff like that too. I'm like, what else has he done really at this point?
It was a very quiet matchup for Henry Martin, but I feel like he should have merited more of a stay to be on the pitch than Oribe Peralta. Although, granted, Oribe Peralta was playing much more of a deeper role. He was, working a little bit more to get on the ball and distribute it. Henry Martin was more like just a nine, just there, just kind of ready to, pounce on an opportunity if an opportunity even came his way. Unfortunately, nothing really happened. But I mean, it's the decline of Oribe Peralta. The question is here, though, will we see him kind of get out of this slump, or is this the Oribe Peralta we're just going to get for the rest of the season?
Going back to what you said, Henry should have stayed on the pitch. In your opinion, I definitely agree with that. After my prediction went south from the last episode when I said that Henry Martin was going to score in the 90th minute, so kind of upset not to see my prediction come true.
I told you that it was not going to happen because I had a feeling Henry was not going to play the full 90 minutes, especially with the way that the game was going. But I wish the prediction came through, though. I mean, it would have been more of a livelier mood if that would have happened. Because let's face it, no one wants to come in Monday, start talking about their team, draw against Tigres in a matchup that we technically should have won. I mean, it was there for us. We just couldn't take it. But I think all in all, we kind of close out the matchup a little bit better. Tigres, try to get on the ball. In the end, both teams kind of, match each other out perfectly. And ref blows the whistle, 90th minute. We end up walking away with a point. Although, Jeremy Mena's looked to be really, really good. He doesn't look like he's 100% fit, but it looks like he's almost there. I want to say a good solid 75, almost 80%. What do you think?
Yeah, no, like you said, I personally don't think he's all there either, but we're seeing good stuff from him still, despite his playing time whenever he's coming from Europe. It's still good. We're seeing good stuff. It's just he needs a little bit more time, in my opinion, to get a 100% fit. We've also discussed his language barrier. He doesn't know Spanish that well, if not none. And so, he's getting there. He's getting used to the playing style. He's getting used to the other teams' playing styles too. Learning the league a little bit more. And, it's good. We're seeing good stuff for him. What is it? 2 goals in 3 games, I believe. 4 games.
Yeah, 2 goals in 3 games.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 goals in 3 games. Even though, despite one being from penalty, that still boosts his confidence. Knowing he get one in the back of the net against a really, really good team, top 3 team in my opinion. Tigres is, and especially with a team that has another Frenchman on it too. It's good stuff. You can't say it's not good. Yeah, like we said, not 100% yet, but he's getting there, and it's coming sooner rather than later.
And it's always good. It's always good. I just want to give a quick shout out to Mendes because he is doing things absolutely well, and that's good. That's good. The only thing I would, I would say bad thing he did was when he got the ball and he tried to do like 6 different bicycle kicks, and then the ball just kind of spun out of his control, reminding me a lot of Michael Arroyo. But everything else he did was absolutely amazing. The way he asked for the ball and already knew who he wanted to pass it to. He was moving, and he was moving into positions. He was getting in those places, and he was giving off really, really good passes. You can tell that he was playing more of a cam than a striker at points, maybe sometimes even a center mid. But just absolutely great what the Frenchman's bringing to the side. I think it's someone that's going to be very solid for us. And if he can continue the good run of form, he can definitely do something very special with the side. So, I mean, I'm happy in the end because we do walk away with a point that could be very vital for us in the end. And also, we get to see a Jeremy Menez goal, and we get to see a Jeremy Menez boost of confidence, which I'm sure is going to carry over to the next matchup. So, this is great development for the Frenchman. This is a great result for the club, all in all. 30 points would have been way better, but beggars can't be choosers sometimes. So, let's let's rally with the Frenchman and hope that he can continue his good run of form, and pretty much a pretty solid performance overall, especially a very tough side Tigres. But I'm happy that it was very much kind of a chess match in which I think we kind of were a little bit better than Tigres, but overall, I guess I'll take the point.
Yeah, I'll take the point too. It's better than dropping all three, to be honest, but I know we could have got all three too.
Yeah. A very, very frustrating thing. But I mean, anything else you want to point out about the team in general? I guess right now we'll talk a little bit more in specifics about a couple players that we think maybe did well and maybe didn't do well. But anything else you just want to add on overall from the team performance?
No, I'm fine. We can move on to what's next to the itinerary.
Yeah. I guess let's talk briefly about players that maybe did not have the best performance and players that did. I think our worst player on the pitch was Mateus Uribe. I don't know if do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I agree to that, man. I don't know what it is, dude. I just did not like it at all. He was very frustrating to me. He was just making me mad with some silly challenges he probably shouldn't have made either. But
yeah,
definitely Uribe to me.
Yeah, all right, Mateus Uribe. I think we can everyone agree that Mateus Uribe was probably not the best player on the pitch. I think someone who probably didn't have a good matchup either was Henry Martin, but it wasn't really his fault. It was more of the role that he was instructed. He was more there to kind of bother the defense, not really give too much trouble. He was really more like a post. He was just there to kind of do his thing, disrupt the balance of the defense. And America didn't really find him. So I mean, very unfortunately, but Henry Martin, of course, doesn't have the best matchup. So I think those were the two kind of players that shined out as maybe did not have the best game. Of course, Matias Uribe actually having the worst game. But hopefully the guy can pick it up. Hopefully he can perform better and do things a lot more solid for the upcoming matchup. I think let's talk a little bit about William De Silva at left back. What do you think about him?
It was kind of interesting to see that because there were at times he did seem a little lost. There were times where he did some good things, not great necessarily, but some good things, but overall, just for me, just an average performance, if not a little less than average. But you kind of expect that from somebody who doesn't play that role.
I think in the end, it like you said, it's a pretty average performance. But I think the best part about it is we know he can play that position if needed. I think this is the best thing that we can figure out about William De Silva was the fact that if he needed to play that position in a future reference, that he could.
Yeah, but it's just you can't really expect much, with some forward runs, really that much and everything like that. To me, in my opinion, and but overall, just average, really. Just this is something that he's got to get used to if he is to play there again and stuff like that. It's interesting to see if Piojo will work him there more in training. With not knowing how, I don't know how long Vargas is to be. I don't know if you know any information on that, but just seeing if he actually gets some training there and everything, and whenever it comes down to it.
Yeah, yeah, should be interesting to see. We'll talk a little bit more about the squad report and who's healthy, who's not. Once we start previewing the Morelia matchup. But I think overall, William da Silva, I mean, pretty decent performance. Like I said, I think the best part about it is I think now we know that if we need to play him there, he's willing, and he can do a pretty good role. He can do a pretty good function. So that's I guess that's really all that we can say about him. I think the best player on the pitch, I think we both can agree on this, and I think every Americanista agreed on this, was the fact that Guido Rodriguez yet again had an absolutely amazing matchup.
And should have had a goal. But
Yeah.
The only frustrating part about that, but absolutely, Guido's just been performing week in and week out, and you can't ask more for him. He's doing everything right. He's almost playing to perfection. And what more can you say about him? Yeah, I think he's doing an absolutely great job and everything.
I think and this is great because we've talked about him and what he's done so far, and he's had an absolutely great season. This is the best Guido Rodriguez we've seen yet, and this is great because he's only taken about 6 months to really adapt to what Pio Herrera wants in America. I think, like Johnny said a couple episodes, a couple episodes back, that he was really starting to adapt to that big role with this big team. No disrespect to Cholos whatsoever, but from going from Cholos to America, like Johnny said, it's a big leap, it's a big gap, it's a lot more of a responsibility, and I think this is something that Guido's finally understanding a little bit better, and he's doing an absolutely amazing job, even in games where not a lot of people will give him credit. He has shined very quietly, which I think is the best part about it too, because if you pay attention to his positions, you see how much space he covers, you see how much liberty he gives Guido Rodriguez to kind of push forward, and he kind of just holds down the midfield and the defense with such ease and such composure. He picks up the ball, he does great, whenever he needs to win a ball, he wins it cleanly for the most part. um you know, Tactically and physically, he's just there, perfect all around. He kind of reminds me of what Nemanja Matic is for Manchester United, or was looming to be for Manchester United. Is a player that can hold down the midfield, but also gives delivery like Paul Pogba to go forward. And for example, Guido Rodriguez gives the option of Mateus Uribe to push forward, and it's absolutely amazing. So hats off to him, because I think he is going to be a very, very crucial piece to this puzzle for us to be able to win a championship.
Yeah, his discipline too. We've seen his discipline get better too over time too. He had about like 2-3 red cards last season up into
Yeah,
about 2 or 3. Yeah, and so now he's playing week in and week out. Those suspensions, nothing to worry about. So it's, the discipline too is a great thing to point out too.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Not very disciplined. Just a very good performance by the guy, because just hats off, because he's been amazing. He's been absolutely amazing for us, and hopefully he can continue the run of form that he's in. Unfortunately, like we said, he couldn't get his goal, but hopefully in the next matchup he can. So I think that really much does it for this Tigres preview. We talked about the goals, we talked about the good, we talked about the bad, and we definitely talked about the ugly. Overall, I think we can both agree that it's a very good point in the end. We're both bummed out that it was in 3. I think we can all agree that maybe we were the better side towards the end of the 90th minute. Like we said, unfortunate things don't always go as planned. But I think if we're really optimistic about things, and we really want to take the positive, and we really want to take things into consideration, then we can see that the team is starting to grow. The team is starting to build a more cohesive unit. We're starting to see players, kind of take charge of their role and kind of assume their responsibilities. And little by little, we're becoming a very, very good side. So I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, definitely happy with the result.
Okay, so we're both happy. Content maybe is a better word, as we would actually be really happy if we would gotten 3 points. But a point is a point, and we're still undefeated. Only Pumas is the only side undefeated in the Liga MX up to this point. So hopefully we can continue this good run of form. We're only 2 points away from Pumas, so that kind of tells you something. What do you? Anything else you want to add on in regards to the Tigres matchup?
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay. So that does it for the review of the Tigres America matchup. Hopefully you guys can agree to some of the things that we were saying. If you guys want to ever get in touch with us, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. We're always there. Make sure you guys follow the Eagle Eye Podcast Twitter handle, as we'll always be able to communicate with you there. And you can also find us on Twitter, either Dylan or myself. So before we jump into these next two previews, because we do have two matchups coming up, the one against Morelia and the one against Veracruz, we do want to give you guys a follow-up of what the schedule is going to be looking like. So next week we are back at our regular schedule on Tuesdays. So hopefully you guys are excited about that. And we have something very special to announce to you guys. We will be having another guest. No, it's not Johnny. We would like to have him back, but no, it's not Johnny. This time we're actually having someone who I think me and Dylan would consider a role model in a sense, and someone that we're very excited to be able to have on the pod. We won't say who just yet to kind of give you guys a little bit of an anticipation, but I would say he is one of the pioneers for this English language Liga MX coverage community that we've all grown to be. So kind of just to give you guys a hint, he will be coming on the podcast next week. So I hope you guys are excited about that. I know me and Dylan, we're very excited. But like if you guys want to be informed with everything, like I've mentioned, make sure you guys do follow us on Twitter, as we'll let you guys know who's coming on the pod, what time it is, and when. But not to worry, because I guess the last two parts I can give you guys now. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, regular time. And of course, if you guys ever miss an episode of the live Eagle Eye podcast show, we are on SoundCloud and iTunes. So don't forget about that. Anything else you want to add on about the schedule? Maybe that's something that they need to know.
No, just always keep an eye out, because especially if we advance in the Champions League, it could potentially move us too. So we'll just keep an eye out for that, guys.
Yeah. So next week, we'll also be giving another 2-for-1 preview matchup, as we will be previewing the Coca Champions and the following matchup, which I believe it's against Tijuana. So would be interesting to see how well we cope with this kind of busy, hectic schedule, because it's not just busy for us. This is the grind. The prime grind time for America. This is going to be, I think, one of the hectic months of the year. You have doble jornada, you got the Conca Champions, you got everything that's going on weekend based. So it's going to be very, very hectic for our Águilas. So we're going to do our best to try to keep up with them. Hopefully we don't wear and tear ourselves down, but we do it for you guys. So don't forget, we do it for you guys. So I hope you guys are enjoying so far the content. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because without your guys' support, this wouldn't be possible, and this wouldn't be as fun either, because I think the best part about it is the fact that I think me and Dylan know that there's an audience base, and that there's other people that are tuning in. We may be small numbers, but I think the longer we go, the longer we progress, and the better that we get at this, I think we'll see our numbers increase. And really, it's about building a family, and it's about building a very cohesive unit. It's about building a community within the Americanistas who want English language coverage. So make sure you guys stay tuned for everything. We have a lot of great ideas coming up. We have a lot of projects that we want to accomplish. And two, make sure you guys follow us, because you never know. We might just do some, crazy day, a random scarf giveaway. So make sure you guys keep tuned for that. Dylan, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good, man.
Alrighty. So let's jump into the previews. We have Monarcas Morelia tomorrow, which is January 13th. And then we have Veracruz Sunday. So very, very busy schedule coming up for us. What do you think about this doble jornada?
It's gonna be crazy, man. I'm already struggling with school, and it's only been a month, and it's only another month till spring break, which I'm really, really looking forward to. So, this craziness going on, and the jornada going on, dude. I'm not prepared.
Not prepared, but we're gonna do it either way because we enjoy doing this, like I mentioned earlier. So let's jump into it. America versus Monarcas Morelia. We're at the Estadio Azteca. The matchup is scheduled at 6:45 my time, so that is 8:45 your time. So it's almost 9 o'clock, really. Like I said, the matchup is going to be at the Estadio Azteca. It's a home game, so it's absolutely amazing. Because we get to go, we get to come back, and we get to have a matchup in our home grounds. So let's just kind of jump into it. So news coming out of Coapa saying that Renato Ibarra has picked up an slight injury, and will not be featuring up against Monarcas Morelia. It's not really a very serious injury, but it's Piojo Herrera kind of being a little bit more cautious and not wanting to kind of risk the player. So when you hear about Renato Ibarra, what are your thoughts?
It's devastating to the team because, this is a guy that's been playing amazing. He had an amazing start to the season and continues his form and keeps going forward. He's not looking back or anything like that. So, it sucks to see this guy go down like that, but, it's better safe than sorry, like you said, because you're going from Saturday and turn around and go Tuesday again, which is really not that long of a break. So, to me, it's better to save him than push it and risk further injury, in my opinion.
I think I agree with you too. I mean, let's not risk it. I mean, he's had an absolutely amazing season. If he's not deemed 100%, why risk him? I think we have alternate players that can definitely come in and do a really good matchup. So that is the news coming out of Coapa. There is rumors and speculations that the lineup may go as follows: Marchesín in goal, Paul Aguilar, Edson Alvarez, Eric Aguilera, and William da Silva as left back, with Guido Rodriguez, Mateus Uribe in the midfield, Cecilio Dominguez, Ibargüen, with Jeremy Menez and Henry Martin up top. So it looks like maybe Bruno Valdez could be the other player that is going to be left out. These are just rumors. This is nothing confirmed as of yet. But when I tell you this lineup, what are your initial thoughts?
Who did you say was playing right mid?
Cecilio Dominguez.
So it's Cecilio, Uribe, Guido, and then
Ibargüen on the left.
Ibargüen, okay. It's a pretty interesting lineup. You obviously expect some changes. To the lineup. Especially coming after so quick around. I kind of did expect possibly Edson to see some game time. Give either Bruno or Aguilera a break and stuff like that. But this seems like a pretty good lineup. Is it necessarily the strongest? No, because Ibargüen really hasn't had that much of a chance, in my opinion, to really showcase what he's got. Jeremy Menez, I don't think I can see him playing the full 90 minutes. Maybe about a good 50 to 60 minutes at the most. Maybe kind of pushing a little bit, but I think this is a team that can also get the job done too, especially with Guido in the midfield, Guido holding it down like always, and so I still don't see why not we can go and get 3 points tomorrow.
Now, I think when I read this lineup, I think that we are kind of not giving the enough, maybe I want to say kind of respect for our opposition. We're going up against Morelia. This is not an easy side, not an easy side whatsoever. They are literally sixth place right now, sixth place with 10 points. Okay, so they have been a pretty decent side start, coming up as of now. This lineup makes me feel like we're playing against Lobos WAP again. Like, this is not our strongest lineup. What's going on? I know we're alternating here, but really, is it necessary? I mean, granted, we've only had like about 2 days of rest, so I can imagine why we'd have to alternate. But I feel like it's a big switch and it's a big move, and I don't like it because it's a very good opposition, and I feel like we need to be throwing all our chips on the table for this matchup to secure 3 points because we're at home, because it's a very important thing that we do. So hopefully like you said, the lineup is good enough and we can get the job done with the players out there on the pitch. I just would like to see a much stronger side. Let's not forget too, it looks like Oriol Peralta is going to be dropped from this matchup. He's going to be going to the bench. Because of Renato Ibarra's injury, Darwin Quintero then, makes it into the bench at least. Would be really surprising if he does start, but no, if he starts tomorrow, it would not be that good of a surprise. I think, I wouldn't say it's man for man, but it's kind of position for position because Darwin Quintero can play on that right hand side. And, that would mean that you leave Cecilio Dominguez in that left mid position that he's been thriving at so much. So, I mean, it'd be cool, I guess, because we're going to see Jeremy Menes start from the beginning. But I think me and you both know that he's probably not going to have more than 60 minutes in his system.
Yeah, to me, in my opinion, you kind of see that Piojo kind of learned from JCO about these rotations.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I feel like maybe this is more of a necessary rotation because you only had 2 days to recover. A couple of your players are a little bit, tired. You do have a matchup against Veracruz come Sunday away, so that's never easy. So I mean, granted, I understand why the big and sudden changes. I don't feel too comfortable with it. But needless to say, I think we can still get the job done. I still am very hopeful for 3 points tomorrow. Let's not start jumping to conclusions that that's not what I'm hoping for. But I want us to do well, and I think the lineup can, in theory, get the job done. The interesting thing is, Edson Alvarez could possibly see his first, not his first start, but his first start in a while.
Yeah, I think it's good for him too. Despite it coming a little, I guess you could say off of a rotation a little bit, but let's just see what he does. I feel like he can still bring a good A game to the table and stuff, and show Piojo that he's still here and that he still can play and that he should be able to merit at least a sub in whenever it's needed too. Not necessarily a start because we've seen Valdez and Aguilera play exceptionally well, week in and week out and stuff like that. And it just sucks to not see him get as much playing time as we all hope for. I mean, me and you have talked highly of him, and it just seems like that he hasn't stand up to that standard yet.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be a very important matchup if he does get to start for Edson Alvarez to kind of prove himself that he deserves to be there. So hopefully he does well. Hopefully he does get to start too. I'd like to see Edson Alvarez. Well, let's talk the nitty gritty. What is America gonna have to do to get 3 points against a very good opposition? Because let's remember, this is a Morelia side that can come back and score plenty of goals on you. I mean, their last matchup was against Pachuca, but was it Pachuca? No. Who did Morelia last play? Give me a second.
Oh, sure. I don't even know either.
They last played. Oh, they played Pumas, which they lost 2-1. But I mean, previous to that, they played Pachuca in a matchup where they were losing, and they ended up coming back and winning. This is a side that can, a very dangerous side potentially. So we have to give them the respect that they've earned at this point. What are your emotions? What are your feelings? What's your gut telling you for this matchup?
I feel confident. I feel pretty confident. Going into this match, I just feel like we still need to bring our shooting boots a little bit because we've only scored more than one goal in 2 games so far this season, if I'm thinking correctly. And so, I still want to see more. I still want to see a more comfortable win against a more competitive team. I mean, no offense to Pachuca or Lobos WAP or anything like that, but like this is a team. I mean, even Tigres was a team to show that we can score more than one goal and get a comfortable win. And this is also another team that we can get a comfortable win against and stuff like that. The defense obviously going to be key. Guido going to be key as well, in the midfield as he's been playing week in, week out, outstanding. And so, I like to see more than one goal actually this week, actually tomorrow.
Hopefully we can get that too. With the lineup that I mentioned, who do you think is gonna have the most responsibility when it does come when we do have to push forward?
Um, possibly Cecilio. Maybe Cecilio. Been doing pretty good recently. I feel like he can keep up that form, especially against Morelia. And you see him, taking on some players. You see him drawing the penalties, stuff like that. I think he's going to be kind of key going forward into the attack. Especially assisting Henry Martin with the two of his goals. Not too long ago too as well. He can possibly come off with that with some key assists. And possibly find him in the back of the net.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Cecilio Dominguez is going to be the best player pushing forward. Um, I hope that also Henry Martin maybe makes himself a little bit more known this matchup. Um, and Jeremy Menez too. If he gets a start, I think a lot of what we do going forward is going to be through the Frenchman. So as little as we can get him on the pitch, let's utilize every moment that we can, because I think it's going to be very important that when we do push forward, when we do go forward, and I think it's important that our key players are the ones moving and orchestrating the plays for us. So I think what America needs to do in order to get 3 points at home against Morelia is start off strong like we have, pressure the side, make them make the mistakes, and capitalize on them. And like I've mentioned time and time again, we need to finish our plays. Our final third decision making needs to be even better than it has been. It's improving, but it hasn't gotten any better to the point where we're finishing and we're scoring and we're at least being a more threatening side. So hopefully in this matchup things can change. I think our passing movement has been great. I think it's wonderful. I think if we can continue the way we have, I think we're a very, very tough opposition to play against, especially at home. So, what else do you think America needs to do in order to progress and walk away with 3 points?
That pressure, man. I mean, you can't have no mistakes either. Just covering your ground, and especially with how we said it was high pressure systems like that. You got to cover your ground too, and keep those spaces as small as you can, and just don't make no mistakes too.
I think we're both in agreement with that. So, I guess I kind of give the predicted lineup. I guess we'll leave that lineup as it is. We'll give our own prediction for the Veracruz one. But what's your prediction for the Morelia matchup? What's your scoreline prediction?
I'll go 2-1 America.
2-1 America. I'm going controversial as always. #controversial team. I'm going 3-0. We're going to win 3-0.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say Henry Martin scores a brace. I got it. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
Henry Martin with a brace. I'm going Emmanuel Aguilera header. I'm going Cecilio Dominguez goal and own goal from one of the Morelia defenders.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first. Mine is probably nowhere near right, but like I said, I'm going with my gut feeling. And actually, it's not even my gut feeling. It's just, you got to be a little bit optimistic. You got to go a little adventurous at times. So I'm going with it. So, yeah, 3-0 to America. I think we can both agree that this is a matchup where we need to get the 3 points, because it's a doble jornada is so crucial in how well you finish off in the season, because in theory it's kind of 6 points you can get in 1 week, which is you don't get that too often. So I hope America can capitalize on this, and if we can get all 6 points, I mean, it'd be absolutely amazing, because at this point, at this stage of the season, you don't really have that much room to slip.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, you got to get good results out of this, no matter what.
And granted, it is going to be a very hectic week. We have Morelia tomorrow, Veracruz Sunday, Saprissa Wednesday, and then Cholo Saturday. I mean, you have 4 matchups in such a close span of time that, I mean, even talking about it, I feel a little bit exhausted. But and you can only imagine the players who have to train, have to play. I mean, they have to travel too. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. So it's gonna be very hectic. But I think this is where the team conditioning needs to kick in. This is when our squad depth definitely needs to kick in. I know something that we talked about was how better is our squad depth now with the likes of Ibarwen, with the likes of Menes, and the three refuerzos from Cholos. So I think now that we have a bigger and better squad depth, I think this is now where it's going to have to come into play. These next four matchups are very crucial for us. And we need to get the majority of points as possible if we want to progress and we want to be, in a very good, comfortable position come Liguilla time.
Right, and like you said, it's just going to be exhausting on the players. It's going to come down to rotation a little bit and possibly seeing Lainez back in the lineup too, possibly on the bench or in the lineup.
Yeah, I can see Diego Lainez getting a little bit of a matchup time here and there. I guess that really much does it for the Morelia preview. I think we're keeping it brief. We're keeping it a little bit shorter than usual because we do have another one that we're going to go up to right now in just a little bit. So let us know your guys' predictions. I hope you guys are in agreement. Don't forget, we live tweet every single matchup. So hopefully you guys join us tomorrow on Twitter. We'll be giving our thoughts. We'll giving you guys live updates for those of you who maybe won't be able to catch it because you're at school, work, whatever the reason may be. Make sure you guys keep a close eye on Twitter because we'll let you guys know every single detail that's going on in the matchup so you guys don't miss out on anything whatsoever. So we'll be on there. Hopefully you guys are on there as too. Like I said, we're always up for an interaction, whether you guys want to talk to us, whether you guys have questions for us. We're always there to answer any concerns that you guys may have. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, and we'll definitely have we'll definitely have a thing or two to say. So hopefully by then Dylan has his jersey washed, so he has no excuse.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. I'll get to that as soon as I get back to my dorm.
Alrighty then. Let's jump on to the other matchup that is Veracruz versus America. Like we mentioned, this is a 2-for-1 in the sense that we're previewing two matchups in one podcast. Veracruz versus America. What more is there to say? A very, very tough opposition. What do you think about Veracruz?
They have something to say too, especially with relegation battle. Like we always said, no team should be easy. We should respect every team that we play. And so, they're going to come out, playing as strong as they can too, as we can. And so, not taking lightly, they're battling relegation, like I said, and it's something that we got to watch out for. We can't make no mistakes against this team either.
I believe so as well. It's gonna be interesting. This is a very hard game to preview because we usually do this after another game. So I mean, we kind of get a feel of what the team is. We kind of get a feel of what the what everything, what the players are like and everything. So it's a little bit difficult to kind of say something ahead of time before even the following matchup happens. But I think if we can piggyback off a good result against Morelia, we can go to Veracruz and get a very good result. This is a Veracruz that is struggling, just like Lobos Guapos struggling. We need to pick them off. We need to go in there and say, all right, we're the better team. We're the better side. We're going to come in and we're going to, literally get the 3 points because we're the better side. I think if America can go through that, even if we maybe don't get the best result against Morelia, I think we can come in against Veracruz, see that maybe they haven't had the best season. Right off of that, tapping into our confidence and kind of, do what we've been doing well, which is pressing, winning the ball early, running at the defenders, getting good plays, good link ups. I think, like I said, the only thing I think we can say is that America is going to need to perfect in their shooting. So, I mean, would anything really change from Morelia to Veracruz?
No, I mean, other than the lineup, obviously, but no, I mean, I think Piojo's going to stick with the same tactics as he has been. Something he's been working on with the team and stuff like that. So what he's going to do tomorrow against Morelia, he's probably going to stick with going into Veracruz.
I think. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's talk lineup. What do you think the lineup is going to be for Veracruz?
For Veracruz,
Yeah,
it's a really interesting question, Ivan. I think they're gonna be guns a blazing, dude. You're just gonna come out firing. They're gonna copy America, dude. They're just gonna copy America and just be like, hey, we could do what you can do, we can do better. So we're just gonna stick with that.
Oh, okay. I think you misunderstood me. No, I meant like, what do you think Piojo's lineup is going to be against Veracruz?
Oh, okay, yeah, I did. I thought you asked me what Veracruz
No,
lineup's gonna
I'm
be.
not
I was
asking you
like,
to give me like their roster.
yeah, obviously, Marche in goal, Bar Aguilar, uh, Valdez, Aguilera, Vargas, Vivada, Uribe, Guido, Cecilio, and then Uribe and Henry. Just basic lineup and as it's been.
You know what? I think for the first time ever on the podcast, I'm gonna agree with that lineup. I think we're going solid 4-4-2 with our solid core, team. And I think because because I'm not gonna say because we need points. I think because we need to get all the points as possible. I think this is a match where we get that opportunity to play our best side and kind of ride off that momentum that we have and go with our best squad and get the result.
Yeah, no doubt. This is after Tuesday, everybody's going to have what is it, about 6 days, 5 days of rest?
Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days rest.
Yeah, 5 days. So, it just seems like a normal week too. If you go from like Saturday to the next Saturday, I mean, it's 7 days. I think 5 days is plenty of rest too. You get plenty of time for the squad to heal if they picked up a knock here, and just to get back to 100%. I don't see why not we can't go with the same strong lineup that we've been going with.
I agree. I completely agree. I hope that we can progress and we can keep moving and we can keep playing at the rhythm that we have been. So, I think it's safe to say that we agree, tactically speaking, America is gonna have to, keep doing what they've been doing. I think in the midfield with Guido orchestrating everything and Cecilio Dominguez and Renato Ibarra playing down the wings. I think this is a very, again, no disrespect to Veracruz, but a very easy game, quote unquote, because no matchup is ever easy. But on paper, you would see that our Aguilas have a very good probability of getting those 3 points, and I think we would assume that they walk away with them.
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, merit, pay on the paper, it's a 3 points easily. So I don't really kind of see why not. I mean, just come out with the same thing we've been doing, man. I mean, that's all you got to do. You stick to the game plan.
Yep, stick to the game plan, and just keep performing, keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we're able to perform, able to do things correctly. So I think, granted, we perform, we keep doing things well, the result is right, and what are you predicting? What are you predicting for result wise?
I'm gonna go 4-1, man. I'm just gonna come out and say I'm gonna go 4-1.
4-1. All right, 4-1. All right, for those of you who guys just wondered why why Dylan completely looks different, what happened, Dylan? What happened?
So in my rush to get to class this morning, decided to forget my laptop charger, and I came to work, decided to play on my laptop all during work, and then realized setting up for the podcast that I did not bring my charger. So my laptop just died, and so while Ivan was talking, I decided to download Google Hangouts on my phone. So that's why I was able to rush back over here. So I am now on my phone instead of my laptop.
Alrighty, well, I guess only on the Eagle Eye podcast, ladies and gentlemen, only on the Eagle Eye podcast. But let's jump back to what we were saying about the Veracruz matchup. You're going with a 4-1 result. I'm gonna go with a comfortable 2-0 result for us. I would like to say that we have it quite in reasonably controlled that we can do that. Um, Again, it's very difficult to predict this because we're so far away from that matchup. But I think at the end of the day, it's a very good possibility that we can walk away with said result.
Yeah, I think so too, man. It's you're away too. You're on the road. Like we always said, it's never easy playing on the road, away from home, and just you can never take anything lightly. But at the end of the day, you got to get those 3 points to continue on. It's a crucial 3 points, no matter what.
Crucial 3 points indeed. So hopefully we can get the results. So I think we're both optimistic for 3 points tomorrow. We're both optimistic for 3 points Sunday. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Follow us on Twitter because we'll have you guys updated with everything news wise, coverage wise, everything that's going on with Las Águilas del América. We will let you know in your preferred language, that is English. So that wraps it up for this Eagle Eye podcast. It's been episode 7. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's always fun to be able to come here and talk to you guys. Hopefully, you guys can agree that with me and Dylan that America looks like in favor of these 6 points. Hopefully, we can get them because, of course, as you know, nothing is ever guaranteed in life, especially in soccer. So, like I said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. I hope you guys can agree with our views, and if you guys don't, let us know too. We're always open to new opinions as well. Anything else you want to add on, Dylan?
Ivan, I think I kind of jinxed it, after me telling you how we kind of had some technical difficulties this past weekend with our sports broadcast here at school. And then we're over here now having technical difficulties when we said that's not what we wanted.
That is true. He jinxed us. We were talking before the podcast. He was telling me a little story about where he works at school. How he was having a couple technical difficulties then, and how frustrating it was. And it was a funny story, but I told him, I was like, well, hope and pray that we don't get this podcast. And surely enough, none of us knocked on wood. I think that was the problem. I think none of us knocked on wood. So we had our technical difficulties. For those of you who are listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, you guys won't be able to see what we saw. But literally, Dylan froze, and he had texted me. He texted me. He was like, "Yo, my laptop is at 3%. I might not make it." So in the back of my mind, I was like, whenever it looks like he's just absolutely done talking, then I kind of have to jump in, right, and do the solo. Hats off to you, my guy, because you downloaded Google Hangouts really quickly and jumped on it like crazy. I thought as soon as you went blank, I was like, okay, like I got to do this by myself for the next, 10 minutes.
Yeah, man. No, whenever you were talking, dude, like I was like going real fast on my app store and everything, man, and I had it open and ready. So I was ready to hop on, dude, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that just happened and stuff. But now I know. So now I know to go to bed early and to wake up on time so I don't forget nothing.
Yeah, but my hats off to you, my guy, because you were resourceful. I mean, really, really resourceful. So, that goes to show you guys, ladies and gentlemen, dedication right there. Dedication. You only find it from Dylan himself. Very resourceful, like I said. So, funny enough, a little side story for you guys. But like we said, we're always happy to go off a little tangent here and there. So it's been episode 7, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Tomorrow, Las Águilas del América play at the Estadio Azteca at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, 8:45 p.m. Central time. So I hope you guys are excited about that. Down here from the Eagle Eye podcast, we wish every single one of you guys a happy Valentine's Day. For those of you who have found your Valentines, snuggle with them, watch an America game, make a little bit of a dinner out of it. And for those of you guys who have not found your guys' Valentine, don't forget, America can always be your Valentine because America is eternal and forever. So hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hopefully you guys you've enjoyed everything that we've done at this point, and hopefully you guys will stick around for more, because like I said, we have a lot things planned and a lot of things in mind. And let's not forget, it's a World Cup year, so we're also going to be knee deep in that as well. So anything else you want to add on, Dylan?
Just sorry for the technical difficulties again, and sorry for not having the jersey ready, guys, but I'll have one ready next week.
Well, there you guys heard it from Dylan himself. He's going to go watch. I'm going to go watch too. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Follow us on Twitter and let us know your guys' thoughts. We'll, like I said, we're always happy to bring you guys new content, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And we'll be back next week. So don't forget, we'll be back next week, and we're going to have a very special guest. So keep an eye out for that as well. So like I said, if you guys miss any podcast at any time, make sure you guys do go find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. So just look at us up there, the Eagle Eye Podcast, and you guys will find us there as well. So we're running down to the end of the episode. Hope you guys have a great one. And until next time, take care, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day, and let's go, America.